some face. We live, baby. We live. What it is, folks? What it is?
What's good? What's good?
I'm echoing. Let me turn my mic down. There you go. What's going on, y'all, man? I
What's up,
appreciate the
man?
homie
We
Zay for
live?
pulling up, man. I'm gonna give him a brief introduction. Everybody already know who he is. Spider Gang in the building. The runners in the building. This young man right here. You know what I'm saying? I only rock with people who I rock with for real. If I can't sit down and have a conversation on the phone with you, you ain't coming up here and talking to nobody on Till's Tidbit. You feel me?
Yeah.
I've been following this young man for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I came across his YouTube page back in the day. Then I seen him pop up on the Come Up series. And then, you know what I'm saying, I follow him on IG. You know what I'm saying? He's a husband. You know what I'm saying? This is how I view him. He a husband. He a father. He a brilliant investor. You know what I'm saying? He a stand-up dude in the community. He teach people this. This all the stuff I think about him. He in one of the fraternities when they be doing all that dancing and shimmying. You know what I'm saying? I be seeing him on the
Crazy.
TV out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm allowed to say or what I'm allowed to do. I don't want his homeboys to pull up on me like they did Bootsy. So I ain't even gonna try to imitate it. You feel me? But you know what I'm saying? He do all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? He a good young man. He a brilliant investor. And I'm just saying it off the stuff that he say. You know what I'm saying? I judge a tree by its fruit. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that he say, I don't take nothing blindly from anybody, but the stuff that he say, I see it hit over and over and over and over. Nobody is 100%, but this young man got a success rate. I ain't never did the math, but I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say about 75, 80%. You
Yeah.
feel me? Cause his success rate up there hit over and his levels be hitting. He started the year off talking about he gonna have clean charts. Just tell you that was a lie.
I knew you
He
was
said
going
he
to
gonna
do
start it off with clean charts. You feel me? But man, if you don't know, you know what I'm saying, back in the day, it was first gen wealth building on YouTube. Now
this.
it's Zay, the wealth strategist. Real quick before I let Zay do his thing, let me see. Hopefully it don't kick him off. Hopefully it don't kick his screen off when I do this. Oh, nope, it didn't. All right, so this right here, if you go to YouTube, I was looking at ICT. I run them back. I run them back over and over. If you go to YouTube, right, you go over here. Let me go to my what I'm looking for is mug. There you go, right there. Boom. This is page right here. Zay the Wealth Strategist. If you don't follow him, follow him. He got about 1 million subscribers already. He way more than me, but he dropping gems. Like I came across his YouTube page back in the day for real. He got some
I
good
had it since
information out here.
I've had my
On
deal
Sundays,
since
I know he be dropping like the what he think gonna happen for the next week. At the end of the month, he drop what happened for the month, what he gonna think happened the next month. Y'all pull up, y'all support him. The information he giving out is valuable. It's valuable. It ain't no trash. It ain't no trash. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the stage. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell y'all what we doing today. It's a Tim's Tidbit takeover. I'd like to welcome to the stage none other than Zay, the wealth strategist. Y'all give him a round of applause.
What's going on, man? I appreciate you for having me on, brother. Now look,
Appreciate you.
look, tell everybody on IG that I have my mic muted, and that's why they can't hear me and they
Oh
not
yeah,
gonna hear me. So
everybody on IG, all the runners on IG, his mic is muted cause it echo whenever. Well, let's do this, Zay. I'll mute my mic and you can unmute yours. That way they can hear you.
Nah, I want everybody to come to your YouTube page, man.
Okay, yeah. Go to
That's
youtube.com
how we
slash
gonna
new
catch you
TR.
up. That's how we gonna catch you up to my
Yeah.
million subscribers.
Okay. I'm gonna put on there. I'm gonna pin Zay is muted. Come to YouTube.
Yes, come to his YouTube page. Support my brother, man. Let's get him up. How many? Where you at? You at what? Over 1,000? We need to get you to 2,000.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like 1,300. I believe it is.
Look, man, we got to get my guy up to 2,000. Now, I'm also tell you, bro. Listen, congratulations on getting getting 1,000 because
Appreciate
I know
that.
how hard it is to grow a YouTube page. And then I'm gonna just say shout out to all the cousins that support us because I know they are a big help towards our our numbers on YouTube and stuff like that. So,
For sure.
and if anybody that ever had a page, I'm telling you, listen, getting them first 1,000, that's hard work.
It's rough.
Hard work, man, because YouTube critique you, man. You watch time and all that. They're not really putting your videos out there. So when people do see your videos, it's because they really want to support y'all. So, you
Yo,
know,
my goal is 2,500 by my birthday. My birthday is August the 6th. I picked
all right,
2,500 because I'll be 50 on my birthday, and half
I
of
like
50 is 25.
I
So
like
my
it. We're
goal
gonna
is
get you there, brother.
2,500.
We're gonna get you there.
All right, the flow yours, brother.
Oh, floor my all right, bet. So we take a sip of little water here. You ain't do your disclaimer.
Oh yeah, disclaimer. I appreciate you, homie. Disclaimer. My mama must not be in the chat. Cause my mama be like disclaimer. She be like, okay, disclaimer. Not only does this go for me, this go for the homie Zay too. So we gonna replace the. I got to pull it up. There she go. Hey mama, how you doing, baby? I got to pull the disclaimer up. I got to pull it up. Let me get the. So for the people who might be on mute, or they, you know what I'm saying? They might be
Mhm.
acting like they ain't seen it. I got to pull it up and put it on the screen for them. You feel me? Slide mode. Boom. Going to slide mode. Got it. Share screen. Now I got to share the screen again because I had stopped sharing it. we go get it right. We had some technical difficulties today, and then
But
you know what I'm
listen, they
saying.
gonna want to make sure they stay for this one. This gonna be a good one.
This gonna be a good one. You feel me? There you go, right there. Y'all know what the lick read. Y'all can say it with me at this time. At this point in time, Spider Gang. Y'all already know what it is. All the runners that's in the building, read it off the screens. Replace the eyes with the we's, cause it go for the homies. Zay too. Disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. Back it up. We are not financial advisors. We are not fiduciaries. Nothing that we say should be taken as financial advice. Do your own research. Investing involves considerable risk, and you should always consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. You feel me? Now that that's out of the way, I'm gonna give the floor to, look at my mama talk about disclaimer. I'm
But
gonna
yeah, I
yield the
see it
floor to
now.
the cousin Zay.
Word up, man. Well, look, man. Like I said, Tim, I appreciate you having me on. And like Tim said in the beginning, man. Yesterday I called him because I was like, um, I'm like, man, look, I don't like going on nobody's show not feeling prepared. What should we talk about? So he was like, look, I like to keep it light. Just share, your thing. And so today I'm gonna share my thoughts, my process, and the reason why I'm using the word share is because if there's anything I do or show y'all today that you might want to tweak or change, look, this is like my guy Tim said to me yesterday on the phone. It's more than one way to skin this cat. So today I'm literally just sharing my process, you know what I'm saying, and letting everybody see how I view the market. So the main thing that I'm gonna do today is really just show how I use bar chart and the options profit calculator to kind of like test my theories, right? So a lot of us will say, hey, I think the market gonna go here, the market may go here. Well, I'm gonna show everybody that like the way how I like to swing trade and stuff like that. How do I test my theories? And a lot of times, how do I know my numbers are going to hit by a certain date or stuff like that? So we're gonna get into a little bit of that. So without further ado, am I able to share my screen now? All right, bet. So we'll kick it off. All right, so a couple of resources before we jump into it that you're going to need. So I'm going to list them out. So you're going to need bar chart. You're going to need the options profit calculator. You need the Forex factory, and then you need trading view, or else if you think a swim person, you just basically need your charting platform. The first thing in my process that I do or that I'm share is I have to have some sort of technical thesis, right? And I'm gonna do a live example because really I'm gonna walk y'all through what is my expectations for the SPY over say these next 2-3 weeks as we end out May. And so I'm gonna use SPY for the example. So let me just go ahead and pull up the SPY chart. Like I know Tim probably like, man, these ain't no clean charts.
Hold on. Wait. I don't mean to interrupt you, Zay, but did you just say you fun to hit us with an exclusive projection? You fun to hit us with a Zay projection?
I'm gonna tell y'all exactly what I see over these next 2 weeks.
Okay, do your thing. Y'all get blessed 2 times today, man. Stop playing with Zay, man.
All right, so check it, right? So first things first is and if I keep looking to my right, y'all's left, is because I have my process written down on a whiteboard. So I'm gonna pull this up, Tim, so they can see. So this is what I'm looking at. right? So I'm looking at this, and I had to put this in steps for this today. So first thing is I want to have a technical analysis outlook. So what is my thought as far as what do I believe the market can do over, say, whatever time period I'm looking to do my swing trade. So for this example, or what we're going to do today, is I'm looking at how can I do a swing trade from these last 2 weeks of May going into basically June. And so that's my time frame. So if y'all have pen and paper and writing these notes down, step number one is you got to have a TA outlook, and you also need to have a time frame as far as when are you looking for this move to happen, whether it's a down move, up move. You need to have some sort of time frame, as in when do you expect to see this price action. Right now, the second part of your technical analysis thesis, or my thesis, is that typically I want to have some type of expectation for the price action that I'm expecting. So my initial thought when I come look in this chart is off rip. I'm saying to myself that, okay, by the end of May, I'm thinking SPY should be able to push back to 423, somewhere around maybe even as high as where my 50-day EMA is, which is 431. So that's my TA outlook. That's my time frame. That's my price expectation, is that, okay, within the last 2 weeks, I think the SPY should be shooting back to 428, 430 at minimum. On the flip side, this is where a lot of people go wrong, is you also got to plan for what if your thesis is wrong. So what if SPY does not go to 423 or 431 within those 2 or 3 weeks? Well, then clearly that means we'll probably be likely to revisit this 380, right? This is just my thoughts and how I look at the market and how I trade, because I'm looking at these fib levels right here. So with those two things in mind, the next thing that I want to do is I want to figure out what events or catalysts can either support or break my thesis. So I see somebody in the comments said, why 2 weeks? This is just the example that I'm using now. Whatever trade time frame you have for yourself, again, we put it out there early. You can change it. If it's a 3 week, 4 weeks, or whatever perspective you're looking at the market. I'm just doing 2 weeks because at the end of the day, I think that the market is going to push to these levels within 2 weeks.
Hold up,
And
Spider
actually,
Gang. Spider
we're
Gang,
going
y'all showing out. Y'all know we do questions at the end. Stop embarrassing me in front of company.
no, that's cool. I want to explain. So, he said why 2 weeks though, but again, I'm going to actually answer that question of why 2 weeks. He'll see why 2 weeks when I go through the Forex factor and all that. It'll make sense in a second. All right, so we got our TA outlook. We basically think the market's going, go up, to 428. And a lot of people who follow me know I love percentages, right? So let's see what kind of percentage move that would be as well. So I'm thinking the market can do about a 6.7% move within the next basically 2 to 3 weeks, right? So that's basically my my technical thesis. So now I want to go to Forex Factory and see what events or catalysts may either help or support or break that thesis. So the next thing I'm gonna go and do is I'm going to kind of get a feel for what is happening over the next 2 weeks. So what is going to be happening this upcoming week and the week after that, as we get ready to go into this last week of May and first week of June. So this is one of the tools that I use. So I'm pretty sure everybody is familiar. I'm gonna zoom in because this is pretty dope. I can actually see my screen on yours, Tim, so people can see this. So the first thing about Forex Factory, and this is a question I get a lot. What events or what economic data should you pay attention to, right? There's almost every other week, it's like, oh, this report coming out, this can move the market, that can move the market. And some people be like, yo, what should I even be paying attention to? So I'm going to tell y'all what I pay attention to. So within these next 2 weeks, the things or dates that I'm going to write down that I need to pay attention to within my 2 week thesis is this. I come to Monday. I'm looking now, before I get into it, for those who don't know, these folders tell you the level of importance, right? So yellow is kind of like least important. Orange is kind of a medium impact. Red mean a high impact. Me personally, I pay attention to the red, and sometimes I pay attention to the orange, depending on what the event is. Yellow, I got to be honest, I really don't pay attention to it too much. So on Monday the 16th, The only thing that I see that kind of would have my attention is this Empire State Manufacturing Index, which I've never noticed that to be a market mover. So I'm kind of like, Monday is not, there's nothing on Monday that could hurt the market. So my expectation is Monday could be a good day because there's no news or anything like that that should really throw the market off on Monday. So I'm thinking, okay, Monday could be a good day. Now, Tuesday, we have core retail sales and we have retail sales and we have Bullard speaking. Now, that's somebody I pay attention to, as well as we have Powell speaking at 2:00 and we got another FOMC member speaking. So, okay, so to me, Tuesday is a day that I need to pay attention within my 2-week thesis because there could be a move or something could happen on this day where the market reacts and it can either support or break my thesis. So then I keep going through it, right? So on the 18th, I'm looking for U.S. events. I don't see anything. So cool. Wednesday should be fine. Wednesday should be could be a good day. I'm looking at Thursday. We have existing home sales, unemployment claims, and Philly manufacturing. Again, it's kind of medium impact, but nothing too crazy. So I'm not too worried about the 19th. And then the 20th, we don't have anything. However, Friday the 20th is May's OPEX. So keep that in mind. That's options expiration. So I'm like, okay, as I look at this week, I'm like, okay, so Tuesday could be a big day. And then Friday is OPEX. So I know I need to keep those days in mind. Then I go look at the following week because, again, my thesis is a 2-week thesis. So then I go through the following week. As I look at this week, I look at Monday. I don't see anything again. So Monday is one of those days where, it could do whatever it wants to do. It should trade technically. Tuesday, I go look at Tuesday. We have this little flash manufacturing or whatever. Again, not something that I'm really be paying attention to because I've never seen this to really be a market mover. So I'm not tripping. So Tuesday the 24th could be okay. Now, here's why I said 2 weeks, because now we're about to really get into it. On Wednesday the 25th, we have the FOMC meeting minutes coming out. Now, typically when those meeting minutes come out, we're looking for more clarity or looking to see what is the Fed going to do. You know what I'm saying? It's always something in those meeting minutes that they try to hype up. The media will always try to hype this up. So just be prepared for that. And so I'm like, okay, well, Wednesday, I know we got the FOMC meeting minutes coming out. Then I go look at Thursday. We got prelim GDP. That will be big. That is a red folder. So that is a potential market moving event. So I need to be prepared for Thursday the 26th. Then Friday the 27th, we have core PCE, another red folder. So to me, I'm basically getting 3 days in a row of red impact. So that tells me that Wednesday the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th of May could be some high volatility days. Also, do not forget that we will also be going into Memorial Day weekend. And if you do historical studies on the market, I think it's either going into Memorial Day weekend or coming after Memorial Day weekend. The market likes to kind of have an upbeat session or whatnot. So now that I have went through the Forex Factory, I have a understanding of, okay, what economic events are on the horizon that could potentially move the market or impact the market as we get ready to go through these next 2 weeks. Now, here's the last caveat that I wanted to give to the people that I think a lot of people haven't talked about, or I haven't seen a lot of chatter about yet, that I think a lot of people are forgetting just because of everything that's going on, which is that June quad witching is less than a month away. So what I've also seen is that most recently quad witching Wall Street has kind of started that 2 weeks early. So if quad witching is about a month away and they typically started 2 weeks early, where does that put us? Somewhere around the end of May, early June, where we could start to see that volatility come into the market and see, that start to play its part. So I have all of this data running through my head, and I'm like, okay, cool. I know what's on the horizon. I know what events are about to take place. I know what I need to watch out for and where the potential pitfalls could be. But I also know, this could also go the other way and propel the market. So I went through step 1, which is have your TA outlook. Number 2, you need to understand what events and catalysts could support or break your TA outlook. So now that I have all of that information, I still feel positive. Well, let me take a step back. So now I'm gonna go back to the charts. And now I can go through, and what I like to do is I'll go look at a daily chart and all of those dates. Now, Tim, don't get on me because I know you said clean charts, brother, but I'm about to add some stuff real quick. What I would do, or what I like to do, is I'll just add a vertical line to some of those specific dates, right? So Tuesday, the 17th was a date that we talked about, had some significance. The 20th, right? That was a date that had some significance because that's OPEX. And then really we have the 27th, or what was those dates? The 25th through the 27th, right? So the 25th through the 27th, where it was going to be when we have those 3 days of, all those high impact events. So now I'm going to go back and like rethink about what my thesis was, which is that, okay, I said the market could probably get to 428 by the end of May. That was what my initial TA thesis was. But now I have a little reservation because the 25th through the 27th, those are some high impact events. And I don't think the market is really going to, be moving like that as we get into those events, right? So once, they're going to try to do all their work they can before we get to that. So then that way it's less volume and all that stuff as those reports come out. And then you'll make another move from there. Again, this is just my thoughts and my thesis. So now I'm thinking to myself, okay, if we're going to get to this 428 or, 428 or so, we now have to make that move before the 25th. We need to make that move before we have all of those big events, because when we get, the FOMC meeting minutes and all that stuff, that could potentially have people on edge. I don't think that's going to be something that would propel the market per se. So I'm thinking, all right, we need to make this, if this rally going to happen, it needs to happen before May 25th. Now I need y'all to keep that date in mind, May 25th. The next thing that I'm going to take into account for my technical thesis is that, okay, is this even possible? I think it is, because if I look at the charts from a weekly perspective, let me take this into account. We have been on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 week losing streak. So could we get a week where we have a major rally? Is highly, highly possible, right? Because we just had 6 down weeks. If you go back and just, look at, some TA work, you can see that after we had this, kind of, what would you call it? Correction or drawdown. That week when we had that snapback, that was a week where the market went up 5.82% in a week. So remember, the percentage we was looking for the market to get to 423 was about 6%. So again, that's kind of one of those proofing things where I'm like, all right, the numbers are aligning, right? I remember we had this drawdown. The next week we had a good pop. And so I'm like, okay, if we get the same similar pop, it takes me to that area, which was my target. And so far, all of my numbers are starting to come to fruition. So now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to test my theory. So in order to test my theory, what I like to use is bar chart and the options profit calculator. So I'm going to show you how I bring these two together. So in order to test my theory, I need to find a contract that gives me enough time to where I would be able to hold that contract until it hits my number, and then I'll be able to sell it and still have some time left. So in this scenario, what I'm looking at would be something around the end of May. Now, for those who want to swing trade or swing trading differently, you can always buy more time. You can buy less time if you're more risky. It's up to you. I'm just telling you, kind of sharing like how my thought process is and how I look at it. Because I'm expecting this move to happen before the end of May, I'm going to look at end of May contracts, right? So just for this example, I'm going to use May 31st because that gives me enough time to where if I wanted to hold through those potential market moving events that we have scheduled at the end of the month, I could, but it also gives me time to get out before those events happen. And it gives me enough time to see, do we get a 1 week, rally? I don't have to rush to get out because I'm not playing a weekly. I still have a little bit of time. So if we have a good week, that does good for my contract. So now the next part would be, what is my target for that contract, or how am I going to, look at it? So when I come and I'm thinking about my thesis now, I know I said the market could go to 428, 423 by the end of the month, but when I'm going to enter the trade, I'm not going to get no contract with a strike price of 423. The way I'm going to play it is I'm going to play it to the first resistance level. And so how I see it is the first resistance level is going to be 410. I do think that we can get to 410, 411 pretty easily. And then from here, we're going to see what happens. We could consolidate, or maybe we just blast right through and we go to 428. I really don't know. But 412, 411 is going to be a little bit of a problem when we get there. And so what I'm going to look to do is play a 410 for the end of the month. So what I would go and do, test my theory, is to say, okay, let me go look at the 410s for May 31st. And I'm going to use bar chart to review their contract history and look at what has it done so far. So with that being said, let me go scroll over the bar chart. If y'all don't use bar chart, I know Mark had bar chart on the come up not too long ago, and they really went in. And they also had bar chart have their own YouTube channel as well, but great resource. Always thankful for this resource. So what I was going to do is I'm going to use bar chart to go look up SPY, and I'm going to go look up that it's two things that I like to look at. First things first is I like to go look at this put call ratio right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Can y'all see that? People see that real good? So I like to go to this put call ratio. First thing I'm going to look at is the 5/31 expiration date, and I want to see what's the OI. So I see calls is 177 and the puts is at 155. So it's pretty even. I like that. As well as the IV on these contracts are at 26. Another thing that I like is below 30. So if I'm looking for a swing trade, I want to enter when the implied volatility is below 30. That's typically what I aim for. So I'm gonna go look at May 31st contracts, and I'm gonna go find the strike price that I'm looking for, which is these 410s right here. So on Friday, they were up 54%. They ended the day at $5. 2100 volume came in. It has 3000 OI, and again, the IV on this thing is only at 23 and it's below 30. So now what I'm gonna do is click the three dots, and I'm gonna go to option chart. Now when I go to option chart, what I'm looking at here is I want to look at basically how has this contract been traded. Now one of the easiest things I like to do is I'll just change this to a line chart. Because you can do the same thing on bar chart, I'll just kind of plot like some I won't say levels, but some prices, right? So I'll look and see, okay, 1460, and then right now it's at this 505 or whatever. So this is, and I'm gonna refresh it because bar chart be tripping sometime. So this is kind of the area where if I look at this, as I look at this contract, there's a lot of space between 505 and 1460, and that's actually a pretty good gain. If you get in at 5 and sell at 1460, that's over 100%. So I'm like, okay, I like this 410. I like what I'm seeing as far as what I see on bar chart, as far as where it's priced, and this big old price gap. I'm gonna have to keep refreshing because bar chart be tripping on me. And then I'm gonna go back to open the close. So now I know some people be like thinking this is weird, but for some odd reason, the same way on a TA chart, gaps get filled on some of these option charts too. So you can see that there's a gap in this like $10 area. I'm sorry that I have to keep doing this, but it's a gap up in this like $10 to 1173 range. So basically 946 to 1163. And then, you have a little bit of space here at 1460. So now that I'm looking at those prices, I'm like, okay, I got a feel for where this contract has traded, what the prices have been, and kind of where was SPY when this was trading. So then here's the next step I'm going to do. I go back to the chart, right? Because I need to understand what is my trading range, right? So if I get into this trade, where do I want to get stopped out at, right? So in these next 2 weeks, and basically how I see it is that, okay, if I were to enter this trade on Monday, if SPY breaks 392, it's a wrap. I want to get stopped out. So my trading range, and the reason why this is important is because you're going to use this for the options profit calculator, is 392. And then I'm thinking, and my target is, like I said, 430. So 392 to 430 is the range that I'm looking for as far as this contract goes, and that I'm thinking the SPY should trade in within these next 2 weeks, right? So this is all my thesis. So what I'm going to do now is let's go to the options profit calculator to test this theory. This is the final piece, and then we get into any questions or whatever. So for those who don't use this is a great tool, optionsprofitcalculator.com. And what you could do is you could test your theories here. So I would type in SPY. You get price. I'm gonna find the contract that I'm looking at. So these May 31st 410 calls is what we talked about. And we want an entry price of say $5, right? So the price you pay per contract would be $5, right? So let's say we go with two of them. And then that the stock price range is that range we talked about, 392 to 430. And then you hit calculate. Now, this is the disclaimer that I got to put out there. This calculator does not take into account the IV change. So when I look at this, this is just baseline numbers, meaning at minimum, this is what I expect, because if it does go up, I know the IV will increase, therefore increasing the value of my contract. So at minimum, even if IV stays flat, I know at minimum, these are the prices I should be looking for or looking out for, right? So here's how I test my theory. Like we said, my first thought was that by the market had to get to 424 before the 25th, right? So if I go look at May 24th, because these are the days where we have all those events, and I go look at the price of 423, that gets me pretty close. I could click on that, and it tells me that the contract should be roughly 1453, right? If all goes well, if SPY gets to 423 by May 24th, the contract could be worth $14.53. That should be the price, right? Now, what I'm going to go do is say, okay, 1453. Let me go back to the contract history, and hot damn, 1460 was the level that we marked. And the calculator is telling me that if SPY gets to 423 by the 24th, it'll be 1453. And then I go back to my TA and I'm like, damn, I said about 2 weeks, right? I know all the events that could possibly push the market up to those numbers. We know that we have a gap. We have crazy resistance right at this fib level, which is 423. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is too much of a, I guess you could call coincidence, right? Because now everything is aligning. I have the contract that I'm looking at says, okay, it should get to the level or the price that I think it, that I had marked. It also aligns with the dates that I set out as far as this is the time frame I'm looking for the trade to be. And then ultimately I have kind of like, I've tested my theory to say, can this work, right? And so then the next thing that I'll do is say, just from the flip side, like, yo, if I get stopped out, what does that look like? So I want to have a stop loss for the same thing. So let's just say if we break this 392, I would assume this is going to happen probably by no later than Wednesday. So if by Wednesday we still ain't really like broken down and we kind of hanging out and we getting close to this 392, I need to understand what my stop loss should be. So on the flip side, so if I'm thinking by Wednesday, which would be 18th, I go to the 18th and I'm looking at 393, right? And so the contracts will go to 198. So again, I'm gonna go look at this at the contract to see, have they ever even come down to that price of 198, right? And ironic, if it was pop up, okay, when we just made that low on Thursday, the lowest these contracts got was 225. So I do know that, okay, so if I want to see where do they have to go to get back to 225, I can say 39. Nope, that ain't it. Nope, that ain't it. Nope, that ain't it. That ain't it. So right about there. So my wiggle room is the SPY can't go no lower than 393. And if it does it, it has to stay above 393 by Tuesday. If it gets to 393 on Tuesday, then likely them contracts are going back to that low, which is about 225, 217. And that's probably where I'm going to set my stop loss. Now that we went through those scenarios, I want to do the flip side, right? Because this is the other part that a lot of people miss. If I'm wrong in my thesis, I got a backup plan. So not only am I scouting these 410s for May 31st, but I also know that because of this 2-week thesis, if we not moving how I think we moving, then automatically I'm going to go to flip it. And I'm going to go look at the May 31st and I'm gonna pull up puts. And so, like I told y'all, what was my stop loss? 393. So if my thesis going against me, I'm gonna look for the May 31st 393 puts, because that's my stop loss. So if we break that, that means we're going lower. So I'm gonna go and look at, just so I have them on tap and know what I'm looking for. I'm gonna go look at the.
Hold up, Zay. Hold up, Zay.
My
I
bad.
don't mean to wreck your flow, but the gems Zay dropping, I just happened to peek over at this chat. Man, y'all better put some fire, some gems. Y'all better, man, the gems, Briscoe, you feel me? The gems they dropping right now. Y'all, man, y'all better light it up, man. When Mark was in here, y'all, man, Mark Kaufman, y'all put fire in the chat. Y'all better put some fire in this chat. You feel me, Kareem? You feel me? Hey, man, y'all put some fire. This man dropping some gems, man. I got my notes on deck right here. You feel me? Y'all, man, come on. I jalapie, Zay. Do what you do,
No,
man.
you good, bro. You good, man. You good. So, yes, all right. So flip side, right? So, the 393. So we don't have 393 puts. So that's kind of weird, right? Kind of weird. When why don't we have 393 puts? So that's fine. I'll just go 394, right? So I'm gonna go three. I'm looking at these 394s, just because I want to have these on the flip side, right? And basically what I'm looking at with these is the same thing. So I know that, okay, if the so let me kind of just run through and replay it. So if the market, let's say the market gets to 411, 412, and this is where we actually stall out, right? We don't go any further. And so that my thesis is starting to work against me. We're not going to make it to the 428. We only got the 412, 413, and now we're starting to reverse. And we've now come back down, and we're back at this 393 gap. So now what I have to do is plug in this SPY May 31st 394 put to kind of understand the numbers, right? So let me go back, type in SPY. We'll go to the May 31st, and I'm gonna look at the 394 puts right here. They're at 667, so say 2. We got our range of 391 to 430. So here's what you can kind of set yourself up. So this is what I'm saying in the back of my mind to myself, which is that, okay, when we get to 412, depending on when we get to 412, I need to put on my radar these 394 puts, because if we start to struggle and we start reversing, then I want to be able to kind of flip into this trade without having to second guess myself. So now I know that, okay, if we get to 412, and let's say we get to 412 by May OPEX, which is May 20th, then these puts will be roughly about $2.30. So if you look in this upper corner right here, oh crap, I messed it all up. Just know, y'all, that they will be about $2.30 is what it's saying, and that's if SPY gets to 412 by May 20th, right? If SPY gets to 412 by tomorrow, then these puts will be about 332. So again, I'm gonna go back to the contract history and look to see, okay, let me just do this, because I'm gonna show y'all how this works without me even, I'm saying, I'm just gonna kind of let the numbers do the talking for me. So I see we have a little, let me see, so this is kind of bad, so it may not work as good, but, actually, no, it is gonna work. So 244, and then it held right here. So let me just drop that there. So we got the numbers we're looking for is roughly 668 down to 244. So 244 is like your prime entry. This is where you would love to be able to get these puts again. Now, mind y'all, that number was what, 244? Yeah, 244 was the contract. So what I'm gonna do now is to test my theory, right? I want to test my theory to see like what price, what date the SPY need to get to in order for these puts to go down to that 224. So if I play around with it and I look at, let's go back to that 24th and hit 424 again. So if I hit 423, 423, if by the 24th basically makes these puts worthless, so it's not anything that you actually want to look at. So then I'm like, okay, so that kind of proves the theory that if we get there, then I don't want these puts anyway. But if we get to 412 and then we start stalling out, and let's look at what's that date? Okay, 307, 256, the 20th, 230. Boom, there it did it again. Hold up, let me find. I'm gonna see if I can find the perfect number though. Where that 240 at? I know you in there. All right, so it's going to be somewhere between here, basically. I mean, you can see it's pretty close, 230, 260. So what that tells me is that at minimum, right, is that if my thesis is right and we get to 412 by Friday, then these contracts should go to 230. And again, we said the optimal entry was 244. So, you know, it plays out like, you know, so now again, my flip side is actually working. So kind of let me just wrap all that up and put that into a nice bow real quick. So what we just did was I tested my entire theory, and now I know exactly what contracts I need to go look at. I know the prices I'm looking for. I know the dates that I'm looking for. I know the market events that I'm looking for. I don't know if I missed anything else, but I know everything that I'm looking for. Right. And so now what I'm going to be doing on Monday is I have the SPY 410 call on my screen, and I got that 394 put on my screen, and I'm literally watching how are the premiums moving. If my call is going up, all right, the market's going up, right? If my put going down, of course, the market going down. So it's just working like, so I'm just watching them to see, okay, depending on the price action, if SPY gets to say 414 on Monday, are the numbers aligning? Did the contract hit the number that I thought it would hit? Is the put where I thought it would be? If that's aligning, then I know my thesis is going according to plan, or if it's ahead of my plan, right? If we really blast off and then, you know, it's hitting numbers that I said, damn, you know, we weren't supposed to get there to the 24th and we get there on the 20th, then lock in profit. So that's another thing I'm gonna stress. Trade your plan. So lock in profit, right? Like I said, my entire plan with the SPY 410s was to play it from the 5 to the 14. I don't need to, just because it did it in one day, don't mean, oh snaps, this ain't gonna go to what's some other prices that I could see, right? I'm gonna go back to that contract because the 410s was actually a little bit higher before too. So 531, the 410s, right? And so let me go look at the 410s again. So it's like, all right, if the price gets back to 1460 and say it did this in a day, I'm taking my profit. Like, I'm not about to sit there just because. Now I do see that, okay, it could potentially run to 19, but that wasn't what I, you know, initially saw, right? My whole thing was I seen $5 to 1460. I was cool with taking that. Now what's going to happen most likely is there's probably some chop between 1460 and getting up to that 22 or 23. And I don't necessarily want to, you know, I'd rather just take my profit, which is probably gonna be about 120 some odd percent, and then I could just readjust and reformulate and re-strategize based on the chop and play it closer. Maybe now my swing trade is a 2-day, 3-day period, because I really don't know how the price action is going to go. So I want to play that a little bit tighter. And so I'm not going to keep holding this like, oh, I'm up 100 and some odd percent. This thing going to go to 20. No, if the trade hit my target in a day, cool. At the end of the day, I know that I've built in enough time to hold in case it only goes up. Okay, it goes to $8 and then it's at $10 and maybe it goes from 10 back to 8 and then from 8 you go back up to 12. That stuff won't shake me out my trade because ultimately I know I'm going from 5 to the 14 and I know I have time built in to hit certain levels. So as long as the price action is going good and I don't see no breakdowns, then I'll just hold on to the trade, right? And sometimes doing that, it may flush it, you know, I may I may hold, and then the day it makes that big push, it may push through my 1469, get a little bit of extra bag or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, I'm sticking to the zones that I see. And ultimately, man, that's kind of, you know, I just want to put a, you know, a pause there to say that's how I use, you know, the options profit calculator and bar chart to like test my theories. And, you know, so, you know, oftentimes people will be like, ask me like, yo, why do you use, you know, specific numbers that you use, or why do you use, you know, the levels that you use? Because, you know, I think I tweeted, most people was keying on 4,000. And I was like, yo, we're probably going to blow right through that number and go a little bit below that. And I didn't think we was going to go all the way to 3850 first shot. But I did think that we would probably go through 4,000, test 3,900, and come back up, just because that was just a psychological number. But the reason I use those exact numbers like I do is because this is my process. I literally just shared with y'all like how I walk through, how I see the market, how I go through and test different theories and price action. And so yeah, I'm gonna pause there, bro. Let you come on screen. We can chop it up.
Hey man, drop the get the mic and drop it.
Yeah, let me get
Drop
some
the
water.
mic, man. Drop the mic, man. I'm out here wilding and wet up my flu. Hey, hey, check this out. Get me a mop. Hey, dig this. He even got my green screen. Man, Jada not my green screen. Golly, come on, man. Don't tell my green screen. Hey, but dig this, man. I appreciate you, man. We gonna stop it right there. We gonna stop right there. We ain't gonna ask Zay to drop no more gems. He done dropped enough gems for the day. We ain't gonna ask Zay. If y'all wanna see Zay predictions for what the spy gonna do, pull up on his YouTube page and check out, look at his he do his predictions. He do, you know what I'm saying? Do you still post
Honestly,
on
you know
Sundays?
what, man? I put those on pause, man. But enough people have asked, like, "Yo, can you bring them back?" So I'm gonna do I think I'm gonna go back to kind of how you said it, and just do maybe a monthly,
Yeah.
saying mid-month and a monthly breakdown. Cause I mean, look, man, I give you all the credit, bro. Like, you do daily price action reviews. There's other people out there who do other price action reviews, and so I'm like, one, right? I got a little baby girl, so that take a lot of time.
Beautiful baby girl. You can't forget
It
the
take a lot of
beautiful.
time to do those daily videos and all that, like edit it and all that. Now you don't edit yours, but I used to edit mine and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
that stuff took a lot of time. So I just was like, you know what? There's people that I bang with and I trust. I could just be like, yo, just they telling y'all the same thing I see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, most of the time when you be doing I'm like, yo, I see the same thing, bro. Or I'm watching your stories in the morning, like, cause you do it overnight. I'm like, all right, let me see what Tim talk about. What he see,
I appreciate you.
what
I
he doing.
appreciate you.
And I'm like, bet, all right, he done did that. So all right, boom, let me set my levels here. So I'm checking in with other people or other traders, and that's why I was just like, you know what? It's enough people out there that got enough talent that let me try to do something different, or I want to put other people on. Like, yo, they just as good as I am, man. They telling you the same. They gonna tell you the same thing I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
So
It's just all about like who deliver. Like, some people relate to my style, some people relate to your style. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like it clicked. Like, all the ICT stuff that I be talking about now, it didn't click until P Dub said it to me. P Dub said the exact same thing that ICT said, but it didn't click until P Dub said it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, man, each one teach one. We got to build each other up. Like me and you was talking on the phone the other day, man. Let's all do this together, man. All this beef in the trading community, and it's in our trading community. You feel me? It's in our trading community. All this beef in the trading community, man. Let's squash that, man, and let's go build this new Wakanda together.
Like, I mean, I get it. I think it's that competitive nature that we have, right? It's fun, right? It could be a fun sport. We could make it competitive, but like you said, the hate and just the drama, man, we could do without all that, man. Because like you said, like, I'm a guy. I'm gonna be honest. I ain't never watched an ICT video a day in my life, and I know a lot of people, live by it. They like, it's great stuff, and I've even talked to P Dub about it. And just by talking to people who trade ICT, just by using my percentages and how I like the chart, I'll say, yo, this is what I see. Is this an order block? Or is this something that y'all, in y'all ICT, where I say, do you see this level or you get this level? Once y'all say, yeah.
I ain't mean to cut you off. 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 Spider gang. Boogie, stand up. Boogie, stand up. We done got our first super chat. We done got our first super chat on the channel. Shout out to cousin Boogie. We done got our very first super chat. Hey, Zay won't say it.
We know it. I don't
Hey,
like.
you should join the runners and challenge yourself. I told y'all, Zay is the leader of the runners. He got it's his Discord community. Y'all already know, I don't have any issue with people charging for their services. I don't have an issue. only issue I got with people who charge for their services is when you getting mad at me for not charging for mine. You know what I'm saying? I support Zay. You know what I'm saying? I support Kiki. I support Briscoe. I support Draker. I support Boy. I support all these people. You know what I'm saying? I support all these people, but don't get mad at me because I don't charge for mine. Shout out, I ain't mean to cut y'all, Zay, but I seen the super chat. Shout out Boogie with the first super chat. If y'all really want to be a part of a great community, I can vouch for Zay, man. Get hook up with the runners. Hit up Zay. Go on go to his Instagram. Do you do Twitter too?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter.
Go to Twitter. Go to his Instagram. Look for the links. What's your web page? Do you got a web page?
I don't got a web page. I would just say, if anything, just go to @StockZay on Instagram, or you could just go to @FirstGenWealth on Twitter. And if you just find me there, just look, shoot me a DM. Now I'm glad I'm on your show today, Tim, because one thing I'm gonna say, all right, so with all them damn trolls and them bots, I had to make my Instagram private. So if y'all follow me on Instagram, you need to send me a DM like, yo, I'm a real person and I will accept you. But I have probably about 50 requests. I just don't accept them because I don't know who a bot and who not. And, I got to keep it a G. I'm tired of people copying my page, putting my daughter out there and all that type of stuff. Like, I want to be able to share my baby girl and all that. But, these bots and stuff, they tripping. Like, I don't want all that stuff out there. So I had to make my IG page private. But if you send me a DM like, yo, I'm a real person and I want to follow you, I will definitely accept you, and then you can have access, and you can follow me and all that. But
what is it on Twitter, Zay?
On Twitter, it's gonna be @FirstGenWealth.
FirstGenWealth.
Yep. And somebody asked, did I change my Insta? I got basically the bots, right? They had the bot army, and they basically reported my real page and got that one taken down, and then the bots were still active. So I tried to get it recovered, and y'all know how Facebook is with recovering your Instagrams and all of that, man. You got to pull an arm and a leg.
Okay, hopefully
I got to shout out to my guy Bougie, man, the runners, man. He represented giving you your first, super chat. Appreciate you, man. That's what
it's Bougie. I be saying Boogie.
And so it might be Boogie. I call him Bougie.
Bougie. Okay, I be saying Boogie. Boogie still ain't put that shirt on yet.
Right, he do. But and that's one thing I'm gonna say like about my community is that we very much are, a family. You know what I'm saying? I try to foster a family environment. Like he said, I'm not a big promoter of what I do, because I know, listen, it's a ton of stuff out there that's free, and you should go use that stuff first. But if you want to, like you said, challenge yourself or whatever, look, we got a great community. It ain't one of those, big groups where it's thousands of people. It's real small. One of the things I like to really pride my community on is that it's very, it's not ego driven. So it ain't about who the biggest and the baddest. Everybody in there is very helpful. They're going to ask questions, answer questions. It's not just like everything kind of fall on me. And then we got some talented people in the community. I mean, there's some people that I think probably better than me, to keep it 100. And, so I really, love my community. And so, yeah, if they're, I don't really promote it much, but, if anybody is looking to, join, we always open and accept new people.
Pull up on Zay, man. Y'all pull up on Zay. We at 54 minutes. So we going to take 6 minutes to see if anybody got any questions.
I know they're going to have some questions, man, because that process was a little,
Run it back. We gonna take Zay got a beautiful daughter and a beautiful wife, and we ain't gonna hold this man all day. If y'all got questions, run it back and then just DM me and I'll try to answer it. 6 minutes. The clock is on right now. While we waiting on questions to pop in.
Well, let me ask you something, Tim. Let me ask you something. While we waiting on questions to pop in, bro.
Yeah.
What you thought of the process? What what if you had to take something from what we did, kind of what would you do or change? I see what you love. I want to hear though.
I wouldn't change nothing. I love that. The way you broke that down, I wouldn't change nothing. The only thing I would do different about your process is I wouldn't like how you made the line chart and you marked your levels, I
Mhm.
would just look at the price action and see if it's coming back to a fair value gap or going down to one, or did
Gotcha.
it bounce off of an order block, did it bounce off a breaker. That's the only difference in the terminology, but it's
Gotcha.
all related, it's all close
Right.
cousins. Like I found out the other day that the cousin was like, oh, so the order blocks is the same thing as the supply zones or whatever. When I was breaking it down, he was like, that's just a supply zone, so it's
Basically,
all related cousins, you feel me?
listen, and then here's the funny part: the supply zone is basically support.
Exactly. There you go. That's it. That's supply and demand, support and resistance,
It's all
fair
the
value gaps,
same.
order blocks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Same
it's
thing.
all right there. All right,
We
so
got any questions? What Boogie say? How do you deal with breaking your rules?
how do I deal with breaking my rules? That's a good one, right? So I ain't gonna front. I'm gonna tell the truth, right? So I used to be a habitual rule breaker, but I gotta say I read the book, The Disciplined Trader. What's the guy's name, man? Damn, hold up.
That's
Mark
how I be.
Douglas.
I can't remember
Mark
nothing.
Douglas. Mark Douglas. That's his name. He the one who did trading with the zone. So I read his book, The Disciplined Trader, and I realized that your rules are like essential to keeping you in the game. So now what I try to do is, I've just really tried to simplify my rules. I know who I am as a trader. So if I do break a rule, I'll put myself in timeout. I'll be like, you know what, I ain't even going to trade for a week or whatever the case may be. Now, for me personally, I don't really trade it often because I am a swing trader, and I know, listen, everybody like, yo, how you swing trading in this environment? I know it's hard, but listen, when you trade institutional levels and you just wait, and then you get the real low, and if you're willing to hold through some of these little volatility swings, like swing trading still can work in this environment. You just gotta know, the right entries and stuff, and give yourself the proper time. So when it comes to dealing with my breaking my rules, I really I just put myself in timeout. I think another thing that I do as far as dealing with my rules is, and y'all kind of seen it now, is that I try to use a lot of project management methodology. So now I do like my little retrospectives. And so with a retrospective, what I'm basically doing is like I'm asking myself, what did I do well? What did I do wrong? And then I'm evaluating what I did wrong and what should I have done and what will I do differently as I go forward. And then I try to implement those steps into my next trade. And then when that trade is done, I go back into the lab and I do another retro. Like, yo, did you do what you said you was going to do? Did you follow your rules as you said you would? And if I do, I give myself a check mark, like grade myself on the report card. If I don't, then that's usually when I lose the trade and lose money. And it's like, well, that's why you lost, because you didn't follow your rules or you didn't follow your process. And it's like, if I get a
We
win,
good on. I'm tired of looking at Boogie chest on the screen, man. Put Boogie question down, man.
Listen, no, man. What else we got? So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Let me see, Zay. Do you use this theory on just short term or for leaps as well?
Great question. I would say that this theory or this process, right? This process is better for short term. Now the one thing I'll say as far as using the option profit calculator and determining some option prices, I have used it to determine a leap entry. Now, as far as profit for a leap, it's not that great, but you can definitely use it to figure out an entry for a leap and literally go through the same exercise I showed you, where if you just go pick out the leap, put it in the calculator, figure out what your zone is. And if you say, okay, if it gets to this number by this date, it'll kind of tell you like, okay, this is about the price of, what this leap would be. And then again, you just go use the option chart history to see, like, is that relatable? Can you see that happening? Matter of fact, great example would be early in the year, I put out that tweet that, at the time I was looking at some XLK 124, 24s for like a strike of 225, crazy high strike. But at the time they were selling for like $10. And I was like, yo, they're going to go to $3, guaranteed, book it. And my whole thesis was that I expected XLK to go to 150 by March quad witching. That was my whole entire thesis. If that happened, those contracts would have came down to $3. It happened. They came to $3. But then I ain't gonna front, I started reevaluating the market. And I was like, yo, this about to go a little bit further. So I was like, those contracts probably gonna go even cheaper. And I was like, all right, the new range is like $185 to $2. And they're literally at like $185, $2 right now. and I figured, XLK would go to about 130 for that to happen. And as you can see, XLK hit like 128, 129 on Thursday. And so just to give everybody an update who follow me on Twitter, just know those same contracts are probably gonna go down to about 86 cents because XLK might be going down to like 115, no lie.
That's what's up. This gonna be the last one. We going that's the same one we just picked. Move. Baby,
Somebody
go.
said
There you go.
Oof.
When do you no, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't got no crystal balls on
Okay,
this
I
show.
don't know that.
We ain't got no crystal balls on this show. We just tell you what we would like to see. The price action we would like to see. We don't predict no when it's gonna hit nothing.
Right.
Right.
There was it say I know all of it. There's a good one. Have I ever revenge trade?
Revenge trade. Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Red. Hold on 1 second, baby. Let me take this. This thing keep popping up. Let me take this off.
What was your question, boy?
Okay, now go back. Now I put the question up there.
Red.
All right, I know we've all done this, but have you ever revenge traded?
I have. Okay, here I would say this. I have revenge traded. But when you revenge trade, like I just take it for what it is, right? So it's like, all right, if I went long, promise him, I went long Home Depot. Now I did manage to get out of Home Depot with some profit, but Home Depot broke down and I didn't get what I wanted out of it. So now Home Depot is kind of a little bit on a downtrend. So I could trade it to the downside, right? I guess you would consider that revenge trading. But it is what it is. I've definitely revenge traded before. You just gotta be careful with it. Boy wants you to trade futures. I can't touch the futures, man. I'll leave that to Tim and y'all, man. I can't touch them futures.
Okay. We at 102 right now. This process, yeah, you can use it for any asset, any ticker that you want to trade. This process is going to work because it's like he said, the only thing with the longer term swings, it might be better just for entries, but like for the shorter term, it's all in the price action, so it's going to work. I appreciate you, Zay, man. We ain't gonna hold you up no more. But before we get out of here, I already plugged Zay. I'm gonna plug him again. Y'all
hey Tim, look, I cleared my schedule for this, so we good, man. We got you.
Well, I'm just gonna keep it hundo with y'all. I'm ready to go.
There we go. That's what it was.
Hey, but dig it. Real talk. Before we get out of here, support Zay and the runners. If you want a community that's gonna challenge you to not only be a disciplined trader, teach you how to be a profitable investor, teach you how to think outside of just how much money I can make, but how to put together a strategy and a plan that's going to help you to be consistently profitable. If you want to do this for a living, the key is being consistently profitable. It don't matter if you can make $10,000 in a day and over the next 3 weeks you lose 30,000. You want to be consistently profitable. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to stick to your disciplines, have a strategy that you're going to be able to stick to and that's going to get you there. That way you'll be able to start to build this generational wealth that we're talking about, because if you don't know how to keep it, what's the point of making it? You see what I'm saying? If you're just going to give it back to the market. Go tap in with the runners, man. Hit up Zay on where is it? Stock Zay on IG. You know what I'm saying? First Gen Wealth. That's right there.
Yep, that's the
First
one.
Gen Wealth on Twitter. Get at him if you want to join the runners. I seen somebody say they joining the runners. Salute you for going in and say you're gonna join the runners. I appreciate you for supporting the cousin. Go thenewtlr.com, pick up your merch. Thenewtlr.com. Discipline over dollars. Speaking of discipline over dollars, I'm gonna be doing the discipline over dollars seminar. June the 4th is the first day at the Columbus Public Library, 3000 Macon Road, Columbus, Georgia. If you anywhere near Columbus, Georgia, pull up and rock with your boy. It's free to the public. The first one gonna be the beginning. It's gonna be the beginning. What is the stock market? How to open a brokerage account? You know what I'm saying? The different types of accounts I can put stuff in. How to research a company. All of this. What's a stock ticker? How to find a stock? All this stuff for beginners. July the 2nd. So June the 4th is that. July the 2nd, it's going to be, okay, now that we know how to open up a brokerage account and all that right there, now we need to figure out how to find our number, what we need to hit to be able to retire, how to hit our number to be able to get to, you know what I'm saying, I want to do this for a living, and then what to put it in. Do I want to put it in a Roth? Do I want to put it in a traditional IRA? Do I want to put it in a taxable account? You know what I'm saying? How to check up on my 401 at work. You know what I'm saying? Giving you all the tools you need so you don't, if you choose not to go get with somebody to do it for you, you know how to do it for yourself. Then August 13th is going to be all for the traders. If you want to be a swing trader, if you want to be a day trader, if it's primarily going to be focusing on options, but I will be sprinkling in swinging shares and trading futures, because y'all know I look at the futures to buy my options trades. So June the 4th, July the 2nd, August 13th, Columbus, Georgia is free for the public. 3000 Macon Road, Columbus, Georgia, at the Columbus Public Library, and I will be streaming it live each day. It's gonna be streamed live on the Tim's Tidbit YouTube page for the people who can't get to Columbus, Georgia, but it won't be saved on the page. So come rock with your boy. Go support my daughter, Alexandria Cartwright. ShopWealthWalk.com. Trader Lex on IG. Click her link. Go in the bio. You'll see the little link for ShopWealthWalk.com. Pull up. Support my daughter. Support.
Yeah, I need to order. I need one of them Wealth Walk hoodies, and I need what don't you got? What's your shirts? I got the option. I want that one.
I got options. I buy them myself. Yeah.
And then I need the one you just showed. The discipline
over dollars. Yeah.
Don't somebody, ain't it another one? Somebody got like what is it? Something over profits or profits over. I thought somebody else had another shirt or something like that. That says
I don't even know.
But I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to.
And then I think Lex on. I think she might be on t-shirts. I don't know if she, because I ain't got mine seasonal. Mine everything up there. You can get whatever. You get a sweatshirt. You get a hood. You get hoodies, t-shirts, water bottles, cell phone cases. And Lex, she been doing hers like seasonally. So right now it's on t-shirts. But
I was gonna say it is summertime, so I wouldn't be able to wear my hoodie.
You know me, I'm lazy. I ain't trying to keep changing it up. It'll be out there. It'll get cold again one day.
Right.
Hey, man, y'all know what the lick read, man. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate Zay for pulling up. This Sunday, as of now, it's just going to be me. I'm trying to get somebody to pull up to do a Tim's Tidbit takeover, because I'm trying to do Tim's Tidbit takeovers for the whole month. Right now, this Sunday is going to be your boy just rocking. If I can't get nobody to do it, on the 29th, let me look. I got to look. IG, I'm about to hang up on y'all. I got to look on the 29th. On the 29th, the cousin TiVo gonna pull up and drop some gems. TiVo gonna pull up and do his thing. And a little birdie told me that little Timmy Rogers was on the phone talking to the big cousin Q, and the big cousin Q, word on the street, he might be pulling up sometime in June. I don't know. Little Timmy Rogers ain't confirmed with me, but you know that's what the word on the street is. So yeah, this Sunday, if I can't get nobody to pull up, everybody's schedule's tight. So it'll be your boy. We're gonna do a regular Tim's Tidbit, but on the 29th, the cousin TiVo already confirmed. And the cousin Q, he probably gonna be pulling up sometime in June, because you know his schedule packed. It's been a busy season for him, and I respect the man time. So you know what I'm saying, sometime in June, be looking for the cousin Q. Briscoe, Draker, Lex already pulled up. Anybody that want to pull up, y'all, if anybody free this Sunday, holla at your boy. Y'all, I got this Sunday open for a Tim's Tidbit takeover. Mark, trading with a dummy. If any one of y'all hit me up. Yeah, Mark, text me, call me. Anybody, you know what I'm saying? Draco, hit me up. Briscoe, hit me up. Anybody that want to pull up this Sunday, so we can go ahead and do a Tim's Tidbit takeover. That's all I got, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know the lick read. I see y'all tomorrow at 6:30 for the price action recap. Till the next time, y'all know what it is, man. I'm gone.